Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and hello if you are new. Today I will be showing you how to do this really simple and easy werewolf Halloween makeup. I am firstly just applying some lip balm before we move on to erasing our eyebrows. Here I am using the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer just to get rid of my eyebrows, as I do want to make them very different. I want them quite higher and I want the end of my eyebrow to be a lot straighter. So this is what I'm doing here. Later on in this tutorial you will find that this step did not work for me. The reason it didn't work is because I was meant to set the concealer with powder, which I didn't realise until after the tutorial. So if you are going to recreate this look, I would advise you to set the concealer in place with powder. Next, I am going to apply my foundation. This is the Maybelline 24 Hour Superstay Foundation in the shade Warm Sun. I am just applying this with my beauty blender as normal. I'm sure you all know this step by now. Next step in this tutorial is eyebrows. I am of course using the NYX Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Espresso. This is where I am beginning to reshape my eyebrow and making it a lot straighter and sharper. This is to have the appearance of a more cat-like eyebrow. We will be adding hairs to this eyebrow shortly just to make it a bit more like a werewolf. And any hair that you can see will be cancelled out afterwards with concealer. This is where the trying to erase my eyebrows earlier didn't work, because as I said, I did need to set it with powder. Again, I am making the tip of my eyebrow quite sharp and straight, and I'm also fading the front of my eyebrow as normal. I did just want this look to focus on the end of my eyebrow. That is why I am making that bit more defined. I am next just going to conceal my eyebrows again using the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer in the shade 346. I am going to try and cancel out the hairs on the bottom of my eyebrow as well. And as you can see, it has worked quite well. I am just going to blend in and smooth out the concealer that I've just applied using my beauty blender, and I will also go in with my finger just to get rid of the middle part of the eyebrow and smooth that out as well. I am next going to darken my eyebrows using some mascara. I always do this step whether or not it's my normal makeup or a Halloween look. This is what I normally do. It just darkens up the eyebrow and accentuates the eyebrow hairs a lot more. Now is where I am going to start creating extra hairs on my eyebrows to look more animal-like or werewolf-like, whatever you want to call it. I am just taking a flat angled brush which I used when I did my eyebrows, and I'm just going to scrape the end of my eyebrow upwards, so any excess from my eyebrow or the mascara will work. So again, just flick the eyebrow brush upwards, and this will create a more textured eyebrow, as you can see, and will look as if there is a lot more hair to it. Now it's time to start on the eyes. I am just smoothing out the concealer using my beauty blender, and then I will go in with some RCMA translucent powder just to set the eyes ready for eyeshadow. Again, I am not a makeup artist or a pro, so I will be using sellotape just on the outer corner of my eye, going on to the end of my eyebrow, just to create a line for me to be able to do my eyeshadow. I am now going in with the Morphe 350 palette and taking one of the darker oranges from the top row. I'm taking a flat fluffy brush and just putting that into my crease. I will start to gradually deepen up the crease as we go along. I do like to start quite light and build it up, just because if you do go in with a darker shade right away and you do make an error or it's too dark, then you will have to erase the whole eye look and start again. So starting lighter is always better. I am next going in with a darker brown shade from the same palette, and taking a more smaller detailed brush, I will be going over the crease again just to build that up. I am just doing window wiper motions back and forth just to build up the colour, and as well blending it into the first colour that we used. You will see in this video that I do blend quite a lot. I am also just going back in with the first brush that we used for the lighter colour that we applied, and I'm just running that over the eyeshadow just to blend it all together. I am now going into one of the darker colours from the palette and using a small flat top brush just so I am able to get right into the crease and add that colour to add more depth into the look. And as I said previously, just using window wiper motions back and forth to blend that into the other colours. Going back in with the second brush we used, I am of course blending it all together again just to create a more seamless look. Going back into the Morphe 350 palette, I will be using the darkest shade that there is, and using my finger I will be adding this colour to the eyelid. Initially I did try to use a flat top brush, but that did not pack on the colour as it should have. Now I am just going into the second colour that we used initially, and on a big fluffy brush I am just blending this over all of the eyeshadows to make sure that they are all blended together. The eye look is finished for the moment, so I am removing the sellotape and taking the big fluffy brush. I am just trying to diffuse the ends. Taking the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer, I am just concealing my eyebrows as normal. I have done this quite a few times now, and I will then be blending it out with my beauty blender and setting under my eyes with the RCMA translucent powder. Taking one of the darker brows from the Morphe 350 palette again, I am taking a really small detailed brush and just running that along the lower lash line. I am then just diffusing the colour and blending it out a little bit more using one of the eyeshadow brushes that we used when doing the eyeshadow on the top of our eye. I will then take the angled brush I used to do the eyebrows, and I'm just going to elongate the eye using the same eyeshadow. This is just going to accentuate the eye, make it look a little bit longer and more cat-like. I am then going to repeat the same step on the top of the eyebrow, but not going as far down. Then taking my very loved and used Soap & Glory black eyeliner, I am just going to do the bottom waterline and the top waterline. Taking the Jaclyn Hill palette and going in with the black shade, I am going to run this along the top of the lash line using a small flat top brush. Switching back to the Morphe 350 palette, I'm going to take the lightest colour, and on a small detailed brush again, I'm just going to pop that into the inner corner where I've created the more cat-like eye, just to highlight that and accentuate it a bit more. Taking the Milani Baked Bronzer, I am just going to bronze as normal. I will now be taking the NYX Matte Bronzer in Deep Tan, and I will just be contouring as normal again, just how I normally do on the high point as well as the cheekbones. I am going in a lot heavier with the product, as well as using a bit more, just so I look more dirty and muddy, because of course werewolves live outside. And yes, even though we are doing a werewolf Halloween look, I am still going to define my cheeks by applying loose powder under my cheekbones. Going in with one of the cooler toned browns, and on a flat top brush, I am just going to start contouring my nose. I am going to make this more prominent and stand out a bit more, just because I believe werewolves have quite a structured nose. And I will just begin to blend that out using my fingers. Of course, this look wouldn't be complete if I did not draw on a little nose for myself. I am only really doing the end of my nose, I will not be taking it further up. I will be going in a bit later just to darken the nose. Again, taking one of the cool toned browns, I am just going to take a tiny fluffy brush and just start to define the cheeks a bit more, just to make them appear more muddy and cat-like, as I'm probably going to say about 10 times in this video, but werewolves are very muddy, stinky creatures. I will begin to just blend this in using my normal contouring brush. Taking a small flat brush, I am just taking one of the darker brown shades just to try and create hair-like motions on my skin. As we go along, I will be blending it in with my finger. I was not getting the hair-like effect that I wanted, so I will be going in with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Blonde. And as you can see, by running this along the darker parts of the face where I applied the contour and the other, well, sort of hair-like effect, you can see that it will create little lines, and this definitely did make the skin look more hair-like and like there was fur. To me, this is what really brought the look together. Going back in with the lightest shade of the Morphe palette, I'm taking a large fluffy brush and just highlighting the T-zone. This will just make you appear more dirty and dusty, I don't know, but it's doing something. I am now just going in to wipe away the powder. To be honest, I did even forget that this was there. I am now just going back in to darken up the nose with a flat top brush. I am now going in with the Max Factor Calorie 1000 mascara, just adding this to the top and bottom eyelashes. And to finish the look, we will be moving on to the lips. I did not have a dark lip liner, so all I am doing is taking my eyebrow brush, just any angled little brush, and going in with one of the darker shades from the Morphe 350 palette. And as you can see, I am just accentuating and elongating the corners of my mouth. I don't know if this is cat-like or werewolf-like, I just did it. I am then going to apply the NYX Liquid Suede Lip Cream to my lips, and I will try and link all of the makeup that I have used in the description box in case you do want to purchase anything yourself. And we have now come to the end of the tutorial, everybody, and this is the finished look. I hope you have enjoyed seeing me recreate this, and hopefully it has been easy and simple for you to do yourself. So thank you for watching, everybody,